it's very natural for fans to sometimes, in excitement or non-excitement, overrate, over-exaggerate their players. But we need to tone it down and live within the realms of reality, objectivity, and being rational. Let's not suspend all our brains. Now, it's good to be in a stadium where you're shouting, emotions are high, adrenaline is high. You can do that. But after the match, you come back to earth and be more rational, more sane, and more logical. Folarin Balogun for me is a good striker, good young player with potential ahead of him. I like him. He went to Middlesbrough last season on loan from Arsenal after signing contract, I think a year ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. We loaned him out to Middlesbrough where he made 18 appearances, 3 goals. That was not good enough, but that was decent. Now, I decided to loan him to Reims in France. And he's been doing beats. And I'm very, very happy for him. I like him. Like I said, decent player in my own estimation. I don't know how you guys rate him. But there have been calls for him when he comes back in summer, Arsenal to reintegrate him into the squad, maybe use him as a third striker, maybe compete with Eddie. I think that's very farcical and laughable. See, fans need to be very logical. I get the excitement of having a young striker that is doing well at France. Let's not forget, it's the French league. I'm not disrespecting the French league. It's the French league. Let see. Call yourself back to it. It's the French league. It's not scoring 14 goals with all due respect for like Balogun in the championship or in English Premiership. It's the French league. Some of you argue that, oh, but the French league has Mbappe. The exceptions don't make the rules. Let's not be silly. The exceptions don't make the rule. See, this is highest value. Arsenal need to sell him, in my opinion. When it comes to the summer, sell him, make some profits. It's a purple patch for me. Some of you will not want to agree. It's a purple patch. We've seen Folarin Balogun play. We saw him against Brentford last season. Some of you argue, oh, he was young. He didn't have a consistency of games. I get it. I've seen him play. He's a decent striker. He's not the striker Arsenal needs to get to the next level. Even on the bench, he's not better than Ketia. He's not better than Jesus, obviously. So you think it's sensible for Arsenal to just keep him on the bench and devalue him? Is that what fans are calling for? I like Charles Watts, but I was watching his video the other day, and he was saying when he comes back in the summer, let's see how we can reintegrate him and see maybe Edu can make a decision. Come on, see, this is the best time to cash in on Folarin Balogun. He will not make it as Arsenal. All the youngsters, all the academy players will not make it at a particular club. So he's not different. It happens. It happens to Chelsea players, Man City players, Bayern players, Real Madrid players. All the youngsters don't make it there. It happens. Sell him now. Now, maybe we cannot sell him to English club because English clubs are paying the premium. Our European clubs don't have the kind of money. We can send to a European club and put on a future sell-on clause. Maybe if you sell him to AC Milan, for example, just hypothetically, say to AC Milan for like 30 to 40 million pounds, and see put 20 to 40% sell-on clause if AC Milan decide to sell him in the future, so you can get the full what would I call it? The full value for your money on a young player. But for you to keep him on the bench and devalue him, I think it's asinine. That's my opinion. I think that's asinine for us to bring him back, keep him on the bench. We know he's not playing ahead of Jesus, right? He's not playing ahead of Jesus. And we know he's not playing ahead of Nketiah. He's not better than Nketiah. He might be scoring 14 goals at the moment. He has made 22 by 21. Let me confirm. Let me not just talk out of my rear. Let me confirm. He has played 21 appearances, made 21 appearances this season for Reims, scored 14 goals. He's not scoring the same number of goals he was making appearances in England. With all respect to the French defenders in Ligue 1, they are not as quick, as robust, as physical as English defenders. Yes, some of you argue with consistency is sharp. He is a bit sharper, but we know the English Premiership is the most competitive and it's the toughest. You have to be absolutely marquee, lethal, exceptional to score those kind of goals in English Premiership. You have to be a top striker. And Folarin Balogun, for me, like I said, is a decent lad. He's a good striker, but he's not of that ilk. He's not the level Arsenal fans are placing him on. He's not that player. For Arsenal fans to be fighting for him to stay as a top striker, and so it can be devalued. See, don't get it twisted. Arsenal needs to sell players, so I'm bringing money. It's not buy all the time. We need to make some money. I expect this summer Tavares, Holding, Balogun should be sold for profit. We need to bring in some money. The Kroenkes have been spending. The club is in deficit for the last few years. We need to bring in some money too. This nonsensical call of just bring him and keep him on the bench or reintegrate him for what? He's not going to play. Provided Jesus is fit, provided Nketiah is fit, Balogun is not playing ahead of those guys. If you need a top striker, Arsenal can go into Europe or South America or Africa and bring in a younger player who will be ready to understudy, who can play in the Carling Cup. See, most teams don't regularly interchange players. Why? Because you need chemistry in your first 11. You need a bit of consistency. You need them to know themselves. You can't be chopping and changing your first 11 every week. You don't do that. Now, you can do one or two changes sometimes, but you don't do that. So how will Folarin Balogun bring to the first 11 ahead of Jesus? You know, he's not doing that, right? He's not ahead of Nketiah. So instead of selling and making some profit, you want us to devalue him on the bench. If you think I'm chatting out of my rear and you have a substantial, logical reason why we should keep him and make the top striker instead of selling him, let me know in the comment section. Because it's not making sense to me. It's not making sense. For me, I'm sure Edu is a smart guy. I will be shocked if we keep him. The only reason I think we might keep him if we decide to send him on loan to a Premier League team and see how he performs. Like I said, I think the purple patch, I don't think he's going to repeat his form playing in the English Premiership. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong. But I don't think Folarin Balogun will repeat this kind of form in the English Premiership. I don't think so. But like I said, the defenders are quicker, they're stronger, they're sharper. They won't give you a sniff. And he's still 21. He's still developing. But other leagues are a bit more relaxed on kind of defending. They're not as quick as the English Premiership. Some of you argue we got Gabriel Magalhaes from the French league. Yes, like I said, exceptions don't make the rules. You can pick a few players from the French league, but in terms of the league in total, you know the best players are in England. They're not in France. Maybe followed by the Spanish league, maybe Italian league before the French league. Let's not be cynical. Let's not be stupid. Let's not be. We know that the English Premiership is the most competitive league right now, the toughest league. I'm not disrespecting Folarin Balogun. I just think Arsenal needs to be sensible on this. I think the best bet is to sell him. Sell him. You don't want to keep him on the bench for him to get devalued. Maybe, like I said, maybe a loan to a Premier League club and see how he performs to increase his value. But if he goes to another Premier League club and doesn't perform, his value decreases again. Why don't you hit the iron when it is hot? Why don't you sell him right now that he is on form, he's on fire? When the goals are there, the statistics are favoring him. It is time to sell Folarin Balogun. Like this video, subscribe. If you're not subscribing, you like my content, do me a favor by making sure you subscribe to the channel. Stick a like on the video, very important for the growth of the channel and the algorithm. And do not forget, lastly, to make sure your notification bells are turned on. And I will see you guys on the next one.